Welcome to Buzz Around the Globe. With their 2 children on their shoulders, these desperate migrants wade into the Rio Grande from the Mexican shore, the water soon reaching their waists. Avoiding the string of large orange buoys placed by Texas authorities to block their passage, they slog on towards the United States. From their starting point at Piedras Negras in Mexico's Coahuila state, they cross to Eagle Pass in South Texas, where that state's governor, Greg Abbott, has deployed the military in an effort to stem the migrant flow. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon with the heat index hovering above 40 degrees Celsius. The US military vehicle that had been guarding the area earlier has left. The buoys extend for nearly 1,000 feet. They are designed to spin if someone tries to climb onto them, and have sharp serrated metal discs on either side. The lifeless body of one person was found caught in the buoys in recent weeks. More than a dozen migrants still try to cross the river, far from the buoys. They had been warned about the buoys, he said, but were told there was a way around them. The crossing takes about 10 minutes. Then the group encounters a seemingly endless barrier of razor wire fencing. Finding a weak spot, they clamber over. A hot wind blows. The only sound is the faint chirping of lizards in the riverside vegetation. The group encounters another fence, 10 feet high. The migrants throw pieces of clothing atop its barbs so they can climb over. The razor wire rips into their clothes, but now they are smiling, finally in the United States. The family had left Ecuador 6 weeks earlier in search of a better life. The journey included a rugged passage through the notoriously hazardous Darien Gap in the mountains between Colombia and Panama. But now a border police van has pulled up. An officer gets out and asks the group in Spanish to show their documents. The men are searched. Then the group is placed in a van to be taken to a detention center. There, officials will assess their asylum requests. Either they will be allowed to enter the country until a judge hears their case, or else they will be deported. The US Justice Department has sued Texas, seeking the removal of the buoys, saying they violate border treaties with Mexico and that the problem should be resolved through diplomacy. A federal court is reviewing the case. Governor Abbott, a Republican, blames the Biden administration for the country's migrant problems. Governors of several other conservative states have sent National Guard troops to help along the border. The increasing militarization of the border, he said, had brought his business to a standstill. Texas first erected a barrier of shipping containers that does little to protect anyone. After the containers came the fencing, and then the buoys. The current migrant policy of the United States is a complex and evolving issue. The Biden administration has made some changes to the Trump administration's policies, but many of the same challenges remain. Remain in Mexico policy, also known as the Migrant Protection Protocols, requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their claims are processed in the United States. The Biden administration had initially ended this policy, but it was reinstated in December 2021 after a legal challenge. Title 42 is a public health order, allows the government to expel migrants without giving them a chance to seek asylum. The Biden administration has used this order to expel millions of migrants, including many who were seeking asylum. Family separation policy stands cancelled. The Biden administration has ended the Trump administration's policy of separating migrant families at the border. However, many families are still separated, and the government has not been able to reunite all of them. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. This program protects certain undocumented immigrants who came to the United States as children from deportation. The Biden administration has taken steps to protect DACA recipients, but the program remains in legal limbo. Pathway to citizenship is another policy. The Biden administration has proposed a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, but it has not yet been able to pass legislation through Congress. The Biden administration has faced a number of challenges in its efforts to reform the migrant policy and will be a key election issue in 2024. Do tell us what you think about this video in comments section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.